Welcome to today's lesson, marker training. In this video, we're going to talk about the two key markers we use in our program, yes and no. These two simple words will help you communicate with your dog in a way that's clear, consistent, and easy to understand.
That's right. The goal with marker training is to let your dog know exactly when they've done something right and when they've done something wrong without any confusion. We use the word yes as our positive marker, and we use the word no as our negative marker.
So let's talk about the concept of less is more. When you're using markers, it's crucial to remember that you don't need to overwhelm your dog with praise or corrections. The power of marker training comes from clarity and consistency. By using these markers in a precise way, your dog will learn exactly what behavior you want to reinforce and what behavior you'd want to discourage.
And this is where classical conditioning comes into play. So when we first introduce yes and no to your dog, we're using classical conditioning to associate the words with certain outcomes. For example, when we say yes, it's going to be followed by something rewarding like food or a treat. Over time, your dog will begin to associate the word yes with something positive. Similarly, when we say no, it's not necessarily about giving a punishment, but it's about communicating to your dog that the behavior they just displayed was not wanted or encouraged.
Exactly. It's like when a dog hears a specific sound that predicts something important is coming, like a bell ringing right before dinner time. The dog learns that bell equals food. In the same way, yes equals reward, and no equals an opportunity to correct the behavior and try again.
And once your dog understands the meaning behind yes and no, you're ready to start using them in more of an operant conditioning style. And this means you'll be applying these markers to actually shape the behavior through reinforcement and correction or punishment. The goal is to create a system where you can reinforce the behaviors you like and then give corrections to the ones that you don't like.
Now here's how it works. When your dog does something that you like, whether that's sitting, lying down, or walking nicely on a leash, you immediately say yes and reward them. The reward could be a treat, praise, or toy. The more you pair your yes with a reward, the more your dog will understand that doing the right thing leads to something good, which will lead to them doing it more.
And on the flip side, when your dog is doing something that you don't want, like jumping up, barking, or pulling on the leash, you're going to say no in a calm but firm tone. And this lets your dog know that the behavior they're exhibiting is not acceptable. And it's important to remember that no isn't necessarily a punishment on its own, but it is going to be conditioned as a clear marker that that's not what we're asking for and that they need to correct their behavior and try something else.
As you progress, you'll get more proficient at using these markers in a way that shapes your dog's behavior even more effectively. Now, the key here, as always, is consistency. Every time your dog does something right, mark it with a yes and reward them. When they do something wrong, mark it with a no and gently redirect them. Over time, your dog will begin to make the connection that yes means they're doing something right and no means they need to try again.
And here's where the magic happens. Throughout this process, you're building a clear communication system with your dog. They start to understand exactly what's expected of them, and you'll be able to guide their behavior without confusion. Plus, you're going to be using less verbal input, which is super important, and you're going to find that your words will have more impact. You'll find that your dog will respond to markers more quickly, and it will give more clarity as you're communicating with your dog.
One of the biggest advantages of marker training is that it makes training clear, effective, and efficient. Because you're using a word to mark the exact moment of behavior, you're eliminating guesswork for your dog. The more consistent you are, the faster they will learn and the stronger your communication bond will become.
So let's recap here for a second. Yes is our positive marker, and we're going to use that to reinforce behaviors that we like and we want to continue. No is our negative marker, and we're going to use that to signal behaviors that we do not like and will not tolerate them to continue. We're going to start conditioning these markers through a classical conditioning process and associate them with rewards and corrections. And then as they get more proficient, we use them more in that operant conditioning style where we're actually shaping the behaviors. And just remember, less is more with any type of communication, and consistency and clarity are the key.
If you stay consistent with using these markers and apply them with intention, you'll find that your dog becomes more focused, more responsive, and much easier to communicate with. Marker training is a very powerful tool for building a strong, positive relationship with your dog.
So good luck, and we'll see you in the next video.